now. All right. So I just want to say welcome everyone to the President's Education Circle. And you're just going to learn a leadership circle. My brain is still on VPE still, but this is the President's Leadership Circle education series. And you're really going to learn today how to master member engagement. How many of you just wish that we can get more engagement in our clubs? And sometimes, many clubs are engaging than others. So I won't say that, all clubs are not having, fun. There are clubs who are having fun. So, but I know that 2 years ago, well, I would say in 2024, I'll say a year ago, we did a survey on engagement and it was very low because a lot of our clubs were suffering with member retention, how to attract guests, to turn them into members. It was very, very difficult. And last year, we just started, more engagement. Like we had a actual town hall meeting just to see what is on the minds of our members. We had more engaging events with club growth. And so getting people out to mingle, to get to know one another, because since the pandemic, we're behind the screen. And it's nothing like human energy. And I miss it. I'm being honest. South Loop Speak Freaks, we used to meet downtown, and I just miss that when I see the pictures, how we were in person, how we were engaged in eating food. And even people outside were wondering, what were we doing? What is Toastmasters? So how will they find us now? That's the thing. And how do we keep our current members engaged when we're behind a screen? So a lot of things you're going to learn. And then, of course, we got pathways, the updates. How can we utilize those education modules? How we can just really spice up the membership by utilizing those modules, because it can attract guests again. But it's going to take a lot of work. You're going to learn about delegation today, because sometimes we want to do it ourselves. And we really don't want to be that person trying to do it all. So today you're going to learn a lot about how to get your members engaged, how to keep them, and how to grow them. So it's going to be really interesting. And then we'll have at least 25 to 30 minutes to really talk after the presentation. You'll go into breakout sessions because we'll have you think about one event. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. But I really want you to have that time, at least 15 minutes with each other, just to talk about what you can do in this month to engage your members. So let's get started. All right, let me get this up. All right, so this is going to be about member engagement mastery. I know last time when I gave this presentation, if you do see any kind of gray bar that's kind of distorting the slide, please let me know, because I just hit the actual panel, and I just don't want that to interrupt anything. So I do have a question. Well, before the question, this is my favorite leader. His name is Peter F. Drucker. He was the modern day leader they really call him the father of management. So he said, if you want something new, you have to stop doing something old. If you want something new, you have to stop doing something old. This happens a lot in clubs because what's been working 5 years ago, we still want to keep it going. The world is changing. Everything changes. However, we have to bring in some new. We can still keep some of our culture and things of that nature, but when we want to attract new members and retain members and keep them engaged, we have to try new things. And that means bringing things to the table and just try it. And so this is what Peter F. Drucker was talking about. So the question that I have for you is why engagement matters. If I can get 3 people, 60 seconds, less than 60 seconds to tell me why engagement matters. And just state your name.
Hi, it's Amy. Because you'll feel part of a team, you'll be involved, you'll feel wanted and welcomed.
Exactly. Thank you so much, because welcoming is very important, that sense of belonging. Anyone else?
Yes, this is Gary. Engagement is important because the individual feels that they are contributing and that they are investing themselves in the success of that organization.
Exactly. Investing in yourself. And can I get a third person?
This is Gigi from Accenture Rising Voices. Engagement does matter because the individual who joins, they have a goal when they join the first time. And if we get them engaged and keeping them engaged the entire time, it means that not only are they getting their money's worth, but then some, because then they're involved with so many other processes within the Toastmasters program.
Exactly. And I mean, all 3 of you really touched on every aspect on, why did they join? Because there is a why factor, their goals, a sense of belonging, things of that nature. So I just want to share with you that engaged members equals active members. Active members equals healthy clubs. When you look at a club that's 20 plus and they are charter strength, you really have to look at that club. What are they doing to attract first guests and turn them to members? And what are they doing to keep them? I always recommend anyone, you don't have to join the club. If you see a club that's doing really well, go and visit. We used to have what you call a club ambassador program. And that is what led you to go to different clubs and see what different clubs are doing. And then you bring it back to your club and try to implement it. And that's what, I think is really great. Is just visit different clubs. I think that that's what brings in great relationships. You get to meet a lot of people. You can do joint clubs, joint club meetings, which I want to talk about a little bit later. Now, Gallup, they really about strengths finders, data, what's going on, and engagement. According to Gallup, engagement data, it says that engagement drives retention. So if you're a club that's very busy and you always having events, education, you're pouring into your members are going to stay. Recognition is a major driver. So if you have someone that's completing their pathways, or maybe they just became an area director, give them some recognition. Make sure that they're being seen. Belonging and connection matters. When we talk about belonging, is you want to feel like you're part of something. When you're doing your pathways, or maybe you're going for your DTM, you want to feel like you're growing. And that connection is the relationship. How well do you get along with your members? If you're not getting along with your members, you're really going to have to see what's going on in that dynamic, because you should be having fun. You should be relating to your members. You should be mentoring your members. So that belonging connection is very important in the first start of when they first meet you for the first time. And then that relationship just develops. Growth and development drives engagement. So if your members are not growing and they're not developing, guess what's going to happen? They're leaving. They're leaving. So it's very important that you pour into your members. I don't care if it's mentorship, if it's an education session quarterly, which I will talk about a little bit later. This is very important. We have to understand their why. And if we're not understanding their why and they're just showing up, they're not growing, again, you're going to lose members. But you will gain members when they start seeing that they're growing and they see the benefit of being in your club. So tonight, these are your learning outcomes. You're going to learn how to build a motivating club culture. I think club culture is very important. You should know the difference between certain clubs when you go and visit and why you want to visit them. Because I believe that each club is unique. Engage and inspire members. Use the new Pathways edition for special events. And then activate committees and delegate effectively. And that's going to avoid you from being burnt out. So you're going to be building new leaders. So let's talk. I'm going to talk to you first about how to build a motivating club culture. So the first thing is there are 5 culture drivers. So the first one is consistency. Your meetings should start and end on time. That's the most important thing. We should not be showing up late. And if this is something that is constant, you have to correct it. Because if you're late and your guest comes before you, guess what happens? If you're not on Zoom, they leave and you lost a guest. And the same thing with your actual members. If they're there in the waiting room and you're not there, they're leaving too. Also, energy. How do you set the tone within your meeting? Club officers set the tone. I always say that your members are looking to you to bring what's needed for the club. It could be an event. It could be your actual meeting, how that's going. It could be a lot of things. It could be the events that are happening at District 103, and they waiting for you to introduce that to them as well, or how to find events within the district. So the club officers always need to set the tone in their club. Inclusiveness. Everyone has a role in a meeting. Everyone. I think it's very important, not just in the role of a meeting, but being a club officer. When you're sitting at the table and you're having discussions about the club, when you're going to have this, when you're going to have that. I think those are great things to do, is to let everybody know that no one fails in Toastmasters. You can always bring your ideas to the table. There's no wrong idea. So it's very important to have a very great inclusiveness in your club. Also, professionalism, quality meetings. You want to be professional in front of your guests. If there's any kind of conflict that's happening between a club officer and a member, or a club officer and a club officer, how many of you have seen something like that when you had visited a club? It just didn't feel right. Or you went to a club that did feel right. So these are things you want to look at in your club. Are we presenting ourselves professional? And that's what you want. This is what guests are looking for. They want to see if they're a great fit. Do the team get along? The members, are they comfortable? Or is it a great support? So these are things that you really want to look for in your club as well. And celebration. Are you recognizing your members? Are you recognizing those small wins? Again, pathways, levels, submissions. Are we recognizing our members on social media or on your website? So these things that you want to build in your culture. So when people come into your club meeting, they say, oh, I want to be a part of this club. Because one, you're consistent, you're on time, the energy is, it's just bursting out. And then you feel this sense of belonging on the first day you meet the members. And then the professionalism that you show. And then when you see, if you're a guest coming from the outside, you see someone being celebrated, you definitely want to be a part of that club. So you really want to just start thinking about those 5 drivers. And if you're not incorporating it, start incorporating it. And you're going to see a difference in the number of guests that comes to your meeting, how many is going to join right away, because they don't have to take 3 weeks. They say, I want to join today. I've seen that happen many times. So the most important thing that you want to do in your meetings, you want to have a welcome greeting, reciting the club mission statements. How many of you recite your club mission statement? Okay. And then you want to set the tone. The Toastmasters should always set the tone to the meeting, like a meeting theme. Think of a theme that everybody can think about when they come up to speak and they can relate to it. Acknowledge your guests if you're meeting in person or on Zoom when the meeting starts with the Toastmaster. And then recognition of wins since the last meeting. So if you have some great wins or what's going on in the club, who did what, maybe somebody's becoming a keynote speaker at a TLI, or they're probably speaking at a conference, mention it. That's support. So the first thing I want to say is that you want to engage and motivate your members. I think that's the most important thing. We talked about the meetings. So now, after we got them as a club member, and then we're retaining them every year, how do we keep them motivated? So I think that there are techniques that you can use to drive engagement. So I think the first thing is you want to, rotate roles. It could be from meeting, it could be club officer. Now, club officers, I keep telling people that you still have to have a club officers election. Always. I hear people say they're appointing people. No, you want to have a quorum. You want to make sure that you don't have the president for the second or third time. And of course, you can't be a president twice in a row. You want to just skip a year and then come back and be a president. But you definitely want to make sure that you're not doing the same roles all the time. You want to rotate. If you were a president one time, try to be a VPPR. Try to do that, but you still have to run. In the meetings, you want to be a grammarian. You want to be a Toastmaster. Get that experience. That's why they brought that back into our pathways. That used to be the competent leadership manual, where we had to be evaluated for those roles that we did. And then we had to take on an open house or a membership drive or do a newsletter, things of that nature. It's not new. It's probably new for those who came in after Legacy, but those who's been around the block, we know this is not new. So we have to introduce it to our members, what these roles mean and why they're important. Also, monthly member highlights. Do we have anyone in here that can probably, state if they do this, and how do you do it? If you do monthly member highlights. And it could be on your website.
One of the things that I started doing is using those awards, those medallions and acknowledgments on that they've added to Pathways. And it's amazing. But I've gotten calls from people and they're like, oh my goodness, thank you for sending that acknowledgement to me. And you can do the medals and you can add some narrative to it. And people really appreciate it. They like it. And I set it up so that other members can see it.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing, Cynthia. So I think that that really increases engagement. You want to encourage speech series. And what that does, you have speech-a-thons, or you can just have a special speech series by letting your members know, hey, we're going to have a speech series for 5 to 7 speeches. And just let them know that they can pick something from their path and be part of it. And you can name it, but it's something that would get your members engaged into Pathways. And then also create milestone celebrations. I know that Dr. Allison came up with Level Up, Win Big. And so every time you submit a level each month, the next month you're put in the drawing and you're going to be featured on YouTube Live, and you have a special Zoom link for yourself to be recognized in front of the whole district, and you just don't know who's going to win. But however, the chances are very high. And then the thing is, you really want to be engaged within your club. And in the district, we're doing what we think is best, and that is recognition. Even if you don't win, you still a winner, because why? You invested your time to complete a level or complete a path. And that's very important, to be recognized. So the thing that I really want you to understand is member motivations. Many people have whys, why they join Toastmasters. It could be through skill growth. A lot of people really want to learn. And in Pathways, there are so many different skills that you can learn in Pathways. And that's why we tell you, go through the whole entire level, the whole entire path. You just won't believe how many skills you're going to learn. They want to be part of a community. And Toastmaster is a great community of support. You building friendships along the way. You're going to conferences. Just anything that you want to do in Toastmasters, you can do. But it's about you and how you invest yourself. Leadership development. What is a great place where you can go for $120 a year and get this kind of training from Toastmasters Leadership Institute twice a year, the conference, and then you get in club officers training. It's very important to see the whole scope of what Toastmasters offer. Recognition. A lot of people want to be recognized when they're at work. If you're a corporate club or not a corporate club, you're in the community, you still want that recognition to be sent to your manager to be part of your performance review. And then career advancement. A lot of individuals who are in Toastmasters are getting promoted, or they have a business because of the leadership skills that they learn, the speaking, and knowing that they've been evaluated and they're becoming better and better in their speaking. And you can even turn this into a speaking business and just flourish, because why? You know how to put the story together. So these are some categories of motivation. So it's good to dig deep with your members. There is a new member profile that you can share with new members just to see what their goals are. Have them fill it out. And if you have a mentoring program, you can give that profile to their mentor so they can work with their mentee. So again, I was talking about the new Pathways additions. How can you utilize those modules, and especially for special events? So you want to use these new modules to create excitement within your club. So I really want to show you what you can do. So you have your success club series. So you have moments of truth. That's one module where your whole club can be involved in this moments of truth to see where you are as a club. And I know Dr. Ellison, she is going to be doing a training on the moments of truth. And I'll have her come up a little bit later to talk about it. Evaluate to motivate. I think that's a great one to present in your club because why? For contests, we have the evaluation contest. Then you have the Better Speaker series. So if you're having an open house or anything, you could talk about how to organize your speech, organizing your speech. If you have a guest there and you're talking about how to organize a speech, that's probably going to light a fire for them to join your club, or a membership drive, selecting your topic. So if you have a new member and you're talking about selecting your topic, they're definitely going to be there if you have an educational session. And then you have your leadership excellence series. You could talk about goal setting and planning. And if you have a guest there, they say, wow, they're talking about goal setting and planning. You know, that just adds to the culture of Toastmasters. Because why? Not only are you learning how to speak, now you're learning how to goal set and plan. And then motivating people. How do you motivate people in Toastmasters or outside of Toastmasters? So not only are they learning how to speak and become a leader, but they're learning how to use these tools to become better. And it's adding to what they're paying for their membership. It just adds a lot of value. So I want to talk to you about the special events on how you can drive this pathways additions. You can use it in your open house. So this is an opportunity for you to utilize your members because these modules are like 10 to 15 minutes. And usually if you bring in a keynote speaker, they're speaking about 15 to 20 minutes. And then your membership drive. This is an opportunity to pick a topic. It could be on leadership. Maybe somebody out there wants to be a better leader, and maybe you want to concentrate just on the leadership series, which is in level 5. So if you have level 5 individuals in your club that wants to complete it before April, I say, hey, do it in your open house or present it in your membership drive. You have quarterly education sessions. Now, many people will actually use, many clubs will use their actual club meeting. I always suggest if there's a 5th Tuesday or a 5th Monday, use that 5th, whatever day it is, for your quarterly education session. Pick a module. You can pick a module, or, you know, you can also have somebody who's a first timer to do the icebreaker. So you can have the module, you can have 2 speakers, you have the module, and you can have someone who is going to do the icebreaker. So you want to mix it up. And, you know, if you have a keynote speaker, you can ask them, can you speak from the leadership series? I think that will be really great if they're trying to complete a level 5 as well. You can do a joint club pathways festival. I think that is, when you look at that title, that's a real event. When people think, oh, festival, I wonder what they're going to be talking about. And you can have a variety of different things to talk about in that festival. One thing, if you're going to have a festival, make sure it's 90 minutes. Don't do it where you say, oh, we only have an hour to do it. You really want to always, how long your club meets, tag 30 minutes after it. So if you're meeting an hour, it's going to be 90 minutes. If you're meeting for an hour and a half, it's going to be 2 hours. So you always want to tag 30 minutes behind the regular time, because you don't want to rush, because it's an event, it's not a club meeting. And then also the last option, if you want to utilize those 3 different modules that I had mentioned earlier, you can use it in your club meetings as well. But however, if you having a special event, try to utilize it. So the last thing I want to talk about is activate committees for higher participation. And this is where we're going to talk about delegation. So delegation is where you're going to create committees to activate your members' engagement. You want to have a membership committee, PR marketing committee, education committee, and an event special programs committee. And why? Because you're building leaders. I know that I hardly hear individuals say that Toastmasters is where leaders are made, because we say pathways so many times that I'm not hearing where leaders are made. And if we were to create committees in our clubs, we'll see more leaders stepping up to be a club officer. So we really want to activate this in your clubs and say, we have 4 committees and we're looking for you to be part of that because we're developing new leaders for the future. And I'm gonna tell you, it's really gonna help you. And with effective delegation, our presidents set the tone in the club. And so you really want to do a deal method. So D stands for define the task clearly. So whatever they're doing in those committees, you really want to define the task. E, you want to empower the member. So when they're taking on tasks, either at membership level or education, whatever that committee that you're going to develop, you want to empower them. And then A, align with their goals. What are their goals? You probably want to go back to the profile that they had filled out. And then L stands for let them lead. Support, don't take over. As a district director, I had to learn how to support my team. I can't be the task person. I had to ask them, how can I support you? Instead of, oh, I'm going to do it because you don't do it better than me. No, that's not a leader. A leader, especially a president who sets the tone, really want to see their members succeed and be a support. So do any of you have a committee right now and committees, and is it working? Okay, I don't hear anyone.
Yes, well, we do have committees, and right now our most successful committee is the VPPR committee.
Mhm.
And it's really nice. I'm very impressed with Kareem Rogers, who is our current VPPR, and they work together on getting whale more recognition digitally. And so what he does is, which I like because he's also doing succession planning and he's training those on his committee to do what he does. And I like that because it doesn't end with him. So when he moves on, there are other people that are trained that can do that. And he also incorporated one of the things that they did was use table topics, which I love to do to get information and to be Toastmaster centered. And they use use the table topics as a way to ask the guest what they're looking for. And I thought that that was ingenious. So the committees are working. We have each officer actually has a committee. But that was the one that I want to focus on because it's the most productive one.
That's wonderful. And that's great that your club has committees because one, it takes a lot of the pressure off the person that is that officer. And not only that, you're building leaders. And if they're interested in running next year, they know exactly what's entailed in that role. So that's great that your club is doing that. So I really want to share a quote from Oprah Winfrey. She said, "Are we limiting our success by not mastering the art of delegation? It's simply a matter of preparation, meeting opportunity." You see, when you start putting those committees together, you're preparing. You're preparing for a successful year. You see opportunities for new leaders coming in and not overworking your current leaders. Because like I said, there are a lot of clubs out there that they're repeating roles because they can't find individuals to take on a club officer's role. And so I think it's very important that we delegate to our members and get them activated in our clubs so they know what Toastmasters have to offer. There's so many resources that Toastmasters give us, but it's up to us as leaders to introduce it to our members. And not only at club level, we want to let them know not only can you be a club officer, but you can be an area director. You can be a division director. You can also go as high as being part of the trio to international level. So we really want to let them know how big and how vast it is here in Toastmasters and be passionate about it. If, like I said, if there's something going wrong in your club, you're going to have to fix it. Because Toastmaster is a beautiful organization. It just depends on the people in the club. So I really want you, these are quick wins for you so you can implement this month. I really want you to host a recognition round. If you have not recognized your members, I really want you to think about who should you recognize and host it. And then launch a member of the month spotlight. If you have a website or you have a social media page or pages, start doing something that will enhance your members, especially the ones that's going above and beyond. Just like you said, Cynthia, you said Kareem, he's doing such a great job. Put him on that social media, put him everywhere. Introduce a mini workshop. If you want to feature something from the leadership speakers series, do it. I think it'd be wonderful. And then add PR posts featuring member accomplishments. And that is really going to bring in guests. When they start seeing your social media is really supporting members, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that support, that engagement. They want to pay their membership where they see fit, where they see value, that they're benefiting and they're growing and developing. So I'm going to put you all in a group, and it's probably be like 2 people in a breakout session. And I really want you to think about one action that you can take this month to increase engagement in your club. And then explain why it will make an impact and how you will put it into practice. So one action, why, and how.
You can go out from there and you could maybe see them at another place and say, you know, I was just thinking, we were just in that meeting. Would you like to have lunch with me? So you sit down with them, you have lunch, and you all start to exchange all kinds of things. But it's really not about Toastmasters at that point. And that person starts telling you a little bit about themselves and so on and so on. And you realize when they talk to you, you have your little booklet there, and you might be taking a few mental notes or even jotting notes down. And then you break open that and you say to them, you know, I've watched you in the club for so long, and I want to know, are you getting the things that you want to get? And they could tell you whatever. But at the same time, if whatever they tell you you want to say something to them to encourage them to keep going and to be more involved and just kind of reconnect with them on what their goals were initially when they started. The why. You always talk about the why. Why is everything going the way you wanted it to go? And are you doing all the things you wanted to do? But I wanted to just get that in because my next meeting, I need to go to it. And hi to all of you all that I know. You all are wonderful people. Look at you all. All right, that's mine. And I'm so
Thank you
sorry.
so much.
Cynthia. Cynthia and I were in the same room together.
Thank you for sharing, Martha. Yeah. And thank you for coming too. And thank you for sharing. I see Deborah says she has to leave too. Thank you for coming. So I want to start with room number one. That was Amy, Faith, and Georgiana. If we can get one person from your team to just to state like what one action you're going to do and the why and how.
So Amy, can I steal your thunder? All right. Okay. It was myself, Amy, and we had a visitor, a guest. Is she Faith? Sorry, I'm sorry, Faith. I almost forgot your name for a second. So Amy already has something that they do, and this month they're having a Christmas party. The best part of this Christmas party, they are inviting former members. So the question tonight is, what one action can we take this month to increase engagement in the club? This Christmas party is going to be engaging. Not only is it going to have current members, but former members. And why will it make an impact? Well, it's the ending of the year. Contests will be done. They'll be able to relax and talk about everything under the sun other than Toastmasters. Fate also said the impact would be building relationship, building community, getting everybody together. Who knows, we may be able to bring back some more new members. And finally, how will we put it into place? Well, this is something that is already there. Not only is it also there, but next month, come January, there is something called dramatic readings every January. So her club is already right out there doing whatever it is that they're supposed to be doing. And I feel I might need to steal Amy or join her club or something.
Yes.
Did I miss anything, Amy? I don't know how much time I had.
That's good timing. But yeah, I think those are great. I mean, that'll keep anyone wanting to come back for more, especially if you bring in back former members. I think that's wonderful to get them back. Thank you so much. Room one.
Thank you, Amy.
Oh, you're welcome.
Room two is Gary Behrens and
Yes.
Rosalind Walker Lewis.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Madam District Director. We had a very energetic conversation, Rosalind and I did. I'm the president currently of South Loop Speak Freaks, which is also your home club. And Rosalind is Vice President of Education, I think, for Prosperity Toastmasters. Both of our clubs are 100% online virtual clubs. And we were talking about primarily in response to the call to action that you issued, what's a quick win that we could do this month? The basic reason why is to take advantage of the opportunity to get together in our remaining meetings or meeting of each club to really highlight the accomplishments of our members, both inside the club or in their pathways progress, if they've completed the levels, as well as their external accomplishments, whether within Toastmasters District 103 or, for example, she received some recognition for her conducting a training session at the TLI from their club PR president, VPPR online. in social media. And so featuring member accomplishments and talking it up, not just at the club meeting, but also posting those acknowledgments and recognitions with pictures of member accomplishments on their Facebook page. And I thought that was a great idea. We have not recognized member accomplishments as we used to do for, in particular, uh, accomplishing levels or speech projects, but in addition, to be able to make that acknowledgement publicly and do so through our social media channels. And I thought these are great ideas because, and good timing. We just had a club meeting last night where our officers were installed by our area director, Darnell Williams, and we have an officers meeting scheduled for a week from now that I can engage my other officers, fellow officers, plan it for the following meeting, the last meeting of our year. And it's a time for celebration because of the holidays. Now, we used to have, when we did meet in person, holiday potluck with our sister clubs that were housed in the same venue. We haven't been able to do that, but I recall that in my employment situation a couple of years ago during the pandemic, when suddenly we couldn't meet together in person, we were just like Toastmasters meeting online. We had 2 or 3 times years in a row, and I'm not part of that organization now, but we had employee holiday parties just before Christmas or before the holidays, where they were organized by our social chair at that time to have fun engagement activities, quizzes, um, topics of discussion, games, and things like that, that I think we could pull together even on short notice and have that as an activity planned in the last meeting of the year. So those are the ideas that we came up with. Rosalind, did I leave anything out?
No, you covered everything thoroughly.
So we're going to try to pull this together for our final meetings of the year.
Oh, thank you so much. And of course, I belong to South Loop Speak Freaks. We're always having so much fun. And I do remember that we did feature our levels on our website, but we
Yes.
do have to get back on it.
That's the other one that Rosalind brought up. Yes.
Well,
And I forgot that one, but and we
awesome.
did the same in the past. Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much, Room 2. And I know, Cynthia, you was with Martha. I don't know if you want to just spend at least 2 minutes, on what you talked about, or did she cover it all?
No, yeah. One of the things that I had mentioned was one of my other clubs that I want to continue to do that, what we're doing in the other 2 clubs. And one is highlighting the members. And we do this with Renaissance, and we have a wonderful graphic, and we have a picture featuring a member for 2 months. We have them as the face of the club for 2 months. And every time someone's featured, they just love it. They're like, oh, because it's not announced. It's not something that we said that was going to happen. The other thing that we do is we do snippets of speeches and table topics. And again, we put it in the little graphic, and that person is featured without notice. And it has always been encouraging for them. So that's something that I would like to do with my other clubs.
Awesome. I think that is amazing, because I think that when you do spotlights, individuals, they feel so, I don't know, they just feel great. I know when I was a PR manager, we had a spotlight for clubs to nominate a member, and then we put them on the actual district website. and it just has something about them. And I mean, the whole club just went crazy. So I just think that is amazing that you do it for 2 months. So I just want to say thank you, everyone who participated, who stayed to the end, because I know some individuals do have to go to other club meetings as well, and or any other things that they have to do. So I just want to let you know that we will have a session after the new year on January 7th. And of course, we're coming to that mid-year. Can you believe we just started Toastmasters and now we're coming to the mid-year? So this is where you're going to learn how to assess your club, where you are, how many members do you have, how many do you need to get to be a distinguished, a better club. And the reason why you want to do it now, last year, I know sometimes we think starting in May is enough time before June 30th. It's not. It's not. You really want to be that club that's proactive, looking at the health of a club and see where you see yourself by April 1st. Because if you could be a distinguished club by April 1st, oh, you're just home free. I won't say relax, I say still build, because you still got beat the clock in May. So May through June is beat the clock. So if you already talked up your club in February, you're already meeting your 20 plus, because we really want our clubs to thrive to being a 20 plus charter, charter strength. And I think that's very important going in the new year when we merge with District 30. And that's going to be coming up July 1st. So our main thing, I'm not being honest with you, is not to leave this district with suspended clubs or any clubs that's under 8. We do not want to go into a new year with the new another district with still clubs that has been like this in the last 2 renewal periods. So they're really going to have to think about, are they going to grow or are they going to disband? I would rather disband because there has been no growth in the last 2 renewal periods. And that way you can just move those members over to a club where they can become charter strength. Yeah. So there's strategies around, between now and March 1st on how to bring that membership up to over 8 and just continue, but it has to be consistency. As I was talking about, you start your meeting on time and you end on time. That's the same thing when you're talking about membership drives, open houses, getting that information out on social media so people know that your club exists. If you don't put that information out there, they're not coming. Yeah, it's wishful thinking when you think they're coming and you don't promote your club. Yeah, so we'll probably have somebody come in probably on February to talk about how to bring in new guests. And I know as a president, you do work with your team, and this is information that you can work with your VP of membership. So that'll be something that we can talk about. And then I'll also have plans for you that I shared last year, and I think it works for the presidents as well. So I know I always think ahead, but I always want to make sure you have your strategies on how you see things. Gary?
Yes, thank you, Valerie. Will you be sharing the PowerPoint presentation with us after this meeting? I know you usually do, but I just want to validate.
I'll probably send it over tomorrow because I want to make sure I have the video ready.
Okay. Oh,
probably within 2 days. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. All right. Do anybody have any questions before we end?
No.
Okay, well, I wish you all the best. And, it is contest season, and we want to see those members competing.
I know Amy is asking for help. She wants a couple
There you
people.
go. I
You're
forgot.
on mute, Amy.
You're on mute.
Yes, I was in breakout room with Georgiana and Faith, and they both are unable to help me. We're our club is in LaGrange Park, and so I know people in the city, that's really hard to ask of them. So, but if anyone wants to come out to LaGrange Park tomorrow night at 6:15 to help us out, you're welcome.
Okay. I could talk to also Jerome because he's your
Oh,
division director. Yeah. So
okay.
because you never know.
All
Because
right.
he's always
Okay.
helping out.
Good
All right,
night, everyone.
and
Have
his
a wonderful holiday season.
Yes. Yeah, and happy New Year.
Yes.
If I
New
don't, if
Year.
I don't see you.
Yes.
All right. Take
Absolutely.
care.
Okay.
All right. Good
All
night,
right.
everyone.
Bye,
Bye,
Val.
Faith.
Bye-bye.
Good
Bye.
night.
Bye.